Well, you think that there's going to be like some kind of comedic opening? What is going on, YouTube? Again, it is Crow with Children of Alara here again, bringing you today some more Ikoria Lair of Behemoths spoilers. So let's just jump right in. I tried my hardest to try to, get these guys to be the most constructed they possibly could so that we can kind of go from like meh to wow. But again, I haven't taken a look at any of these cards, so we're just gonna see what's going on. I'm probably gonna break these up in between certain videos, so like I may have one where it's just commons and uncommons, maybe rares, one that's mythics, and then finally all the ones that are about Commander 2020. So again, it's Crow, and thank you so much guys for joining us today. First off, we have Dreamtail Heron. It is 4 and a blue, and it has a mutate cost of 3 and a blue. And as you guys know, mutate, you put the card under or over, you can choose. And then it gains all the abilities of all the cards. The card on top has the abilities of everything from underneath it. So, Dreamtail Heron has flying. Whenever this creature mutates, draw a card. So pretty standard. It's really good if you want to enchant your creature. Mutate is going to be kind of a weird mechanic because how do you really get rid of it? You have a bunch of these creatures that are underneath. Are they still considered creatures at that point? We'll probably find out. I'll probably put a little notation up right there. But it's also a 3/4. So again, not bad. For all you bird players, you got another little thing to play around with. Next up is Cavern Whisperer. Shout out to Whispering One. It's 4 and a black, and that gets you a nightmare creature. And it has a mutate cost of 3 and a black. It has menace, and then whenever this creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. So as you can see, this mutate mechanic is going to kind of get out of hand, I think, if people learn how to break it. And I definitely think that people are going to learn how to break it. And that's a 4/4. So again, not bad. Next up, we have Savi Sabertooth. It's 1 and a white, and that gets you a cat. 3/1, no effect. Again, it's the exact opposite of the Pangolin thick boy that we were talking about yesterday. This one's got some teeth on it. So, if you want to kind of get hits in quick, that's the way in how you do it. Next up, we have Wingfold Pteron. Right, the P silent with pterodactyl. Yeah, so Pteron. It is 5 and a blue, so kind of costly. But let's see what it's got. It's just a dinosaur. Wingfold Pteron enters the battlefield with your choice of a flying counter or hexproof counter on it. So that's pretty cool. Plus, you can then go ahead and mutate it. So then will the creature that enters in mutate with so you could put both a flying and a hexproof? That's my guess. And it's a 3/6. Next up, we have Phase Dolphin. This looks pretty cool, this artwork. You can see it right there. It is 2 and a blue, and that's for an elemental whale. And whenever Phase Dolphin attacks, another target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. That's pretty dope. So again, once you declare attackers, you can choose one of those creatures, another target attacking creature, and that creature can't be blocked. Great way to kind of manipulate your board state if it's something that hey, I went ahead and I attacked with this card that has you discard all your cards, stuff like that. This dolphin could be kind of a big problem. for such low cost too. That's crazy. And it's a 1/4, so again, big butt, so it can dodge a lot of removal. Next up, Shredded Sails. Just why does that look like the Weatherlight? Doesn't that look like the Weatherlight? Huh, I guess that's just how they all make them. Oh no, but I think I see a balloon up there too. So Shredded Sails is 1 in a red for an instant. Finally, we're kind of pivoting away from big creatures. For an instant, choose 1, destroy target artifact, or Shredded Sails deals 4 damage to target creature with flying, and then it has cycling cost of 2. So that's good for kind of red who can't get around flyers. This is a way for you to kind of answer it. Next up, we have Blood Curdle. This seems like an interesting card. It's 3 in a black, and that's again for another instant. Destroy target creature, put a menace counter on a creature you control. There we go. Pretty simple. I love the concept of abilities now being kind of tokens now, like menace token, trample token, so on and so forth. Next up, we're going back to the big creatures. We got Mosscoat Goriak. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It is 2 and a green, just for a beast, and it has vigilance 2/4. So standard, card fare, common fare. Next up, we have Bristling Boar for you boar players. It is 3 and a green. That gets you a boar. It's kind of self-explanatory. Bristling Boar can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, and has a 4/3. So it's gonna do some damage, to say the least. And that's about it for the commons that were spoiled. Again, we kind of just ran through that. No sense in really dwelling on it. So now we're kind of moving over to Zagoth Crystal, and these are the uncommons. So Zagoth Crystal, these are actually really interesting. A lot of people are probably going to go crazy over them. So it is an artifact for 3, and then it has tap, add black, green, or blue to your mana pool, and then it has cycling 2. I don't know why you'd ever want to cycle it, because again, it's a mana rock that can tap for 3 different colors, and I think that's something that people really need desperately. Next up, we have Savai Crystal. Again, it's a 3 mana artifact, and it taps for red, white, or black. You seeing a trend yet? I am. And again, it has cycling 2. Next up, Rogrin Crystal. Another 3 mana artifact, taps for Jeskai, so blue, red, white. So pretty cool. Next up is Ketrai Crystal, and that taps for Temur, I believe. Right? That's green, blue, red. I think that's Temur. And again, cycling. So I think this is the last one. Yep, last one. Indatha Crystal, again, another 3 artifact. You guys know the drill.
Check it out, kids! You know the drill!
And it taps for Abzan, so white, black, or green, and again has cycling. So, like I said, again, these are going to be really interesting because more mana ramp and more ways to fix your mana is always a good thing. So you're going to see these cards kind of be a mainstay in any kind of format, especially like things like Pioneer, and more importantly, Commander, which again is what most of us play here on Children of Lair, except for Taz, which we're trying to still get him into it. But hey, we're all quarantined, and kind of hard to play Paper Magic when you're quarantined. Next up, again, still staying on track with the uncommons, we have Auspicious Sterics. That's a weird name. It is 4 and a green, and that gets you an Elk Beast, and it has Mutate. Mutate cost is 5 and a green, so 1 more than the hard cast of the creature. And its effect is whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanent cards, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Put those permanent cards onto the battlefield. What? So I mean, ideally, that's the thing. Yeah, that's where you kind of want to start from, right? you want to have that creature at the very bottom, and then mutate little guys, and then have those little guys build up into bigger guys. God. And then is it just permanent cards? Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if you hit multiple of those dudes? Like, let's just say in like a sealed event, right? Because he's a 6/6. It's a 6/6. And jeez, oh man, a lot of these creatures. I know I said it yesterday, or yeah, in the video that was posted yesterday. Assuming I get this video up the day after, which I don't know with our time frame. A lot of these creatures, I know I said they remind me of Dark Souls, but like this one in particular reminds me of Final Fantasy 12, like the hunts. God, I want to play that game again. Anyways, we're getting off track. That's gonna be a pretty cool creature, let me tell you. Next up is General's Enforcer. This is pretty cool. Just again, I love 2-drop creatures because generally it means that it's going to be able to provide some sort of value into the deck that you're trying to slot it into. So it is a white and a black, so Orzhov, for a human soldier. Oh yeah, see? Legendary humans you control have indestructible. That's like a necessity. I'm gonna move the mic over here. We're just gonna talk like this so you can see the mat and all that stuff. Wow. All right. And then it also has, you can pay 2, a white and a black, exile target creature from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So again, you Teysa players who like to kind of get tokens on the field and have stuff die and have them come back. This definitely seems like it's going to be something for you. And it's a 2/3. And then its flavor text more stubborn than Drannith's walls. That's pretty funny. Next up, oh my god. Archipelagor? Archipelagor. I'm going to assume that that's correct. It's 5, a blue and a blue for a Leviathan. It has mutate cost of 5 and a blue, so 1 less. Pretty dope. And then whenever this creature mutates, tap up to X target creatures, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. Those creatures don't untap during the controller's next untap step. So kind of like a, the general like Leviathan, Octopus, Kraken type effects where you're tapping down your opponent's creatures and they stay like that. So again, could be really good with like the whale, because again you can make something blockable to get an early damage and then have this guy kind of close it out when your opponent thinks that they're getting the better of you. And it's a 7/7, so it's a big boy. Next up is Trumpeting Ner. It's 1, a green and a blue, so Simic, with a mutate cost of 3, Simic. So massive mutate cost. And its effect, and I can see why it's a massive mutate cost. Whenever this creature mutates, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Kinda nuts. Again though, it's gonna be really tough to have these cards in the commander format do a good job, because you need to kind of have at least like a handful of them to really take advantage of their effect. Like if it's just a one-off effect, then I'll save what I wanted to do and put in cards that will benefit my deck's synergy a lot more. But who knows, for the long game, we don't know. I can tell you for a fact that mutate is gonna, I know I said yesterday that I didn't know how I was feeling about it. I can say today I'm gonna enjoy it a lot more. I think the abilities are just fun, and that's exactly what I want. Is I just want to again have fun in Magic. Ooh, all right. This next one, the Roanoke Recluse Spider. I'm joking. I don't know if any of you guys noticed my hoodie that I've taken. Whoops. pictures and videos from time to time. I'm a huge Time Suck fan. No, the Glowstone Recluse. It is 2 and a green for Spider. Roanoke Recluse. It has a mutate cost of 3 and a green, so 1 more. It has reach, because all good spiders have to. And then whenever this creature mutates, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Okay. And it's a 2/3. Okay, next up, Call of the Death Dweller. Jeez. It's 2 and a black for sorcery. It's crazy, right? We've been talking about creatures that mutate and do things and recursion, and there's not a lot of instants and sorceries in this set. This literally is a set for the Timmies and Tammies of Magic. And again, if you're a new player to Magic, you're gonna love Timmies and Tammies, like that type of play style. You're gonna want to get those big splashy plays out on the field, and you're not gonna see the finer things. And I'm not saying that eventually you won't. You will. But it feels good. It feels good to get those big spells off and be like, there you go, this is 10/10, But Call of the Death Dweller, it's a sorcery, return up to 2 target creature cards with total converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put Death Touch counter on either of them, then put a Menace counter on either of them. Oh wow, so you can bulk up. So you can have one thing have like a CMC of 2, and then one thing have a CMC of 1, and then put like the Menace and Death Touch, or the Menace counter on the 1 CMC 1. And you probably want to put them both. I don't know. That's the crazy thing about it. You want to go ahead and cover all your bases, so what do? Crazy. Wowzers. Alright, next up is Crowdwild Ponder. This guy just looks like a gentle giant. It's 2 Gruul. It's for a human warrior. Trample, for whatever reason. And then his effect is creatures you control with trample you may have this creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. What? Okay, that's gonna be like a really good card, right? Am I crazy? Yeah, so it just goes through. Huh. And that's a 4/3. Wow. Alright, and then we have Neutralize. I don't know if Neutralize was Neutralize. So Neutralize is a new card, which is kind of crazy. Because again, when I look at cards like these, I think I instantly go to Amonkhet Hour of Devastation. Like, this card must have been printed during this time. But Neutralize, it's 1 blue, counter target spell, just target spell, no non-creature, no only creature, any spell. And it has cycling for 2. Discard, draw a card. Not bad. Next up, we have Flourishing Fox. Man, WotC with the foxes. They love their foxes. Eldraine had a fox. Now this has a fox. I don't know if Theros had a fox. But its effect, it's just one white for a fox. Its effect is whenever you cycle another card, put a +1/+1 counter on Flourishing Fox, and then it itself has cycling for 1. So you can bet your bottom dollar that Foxy Boy is going into the Jeskai Precon deck, because why wouldn't you? If you can cycle at least once for free, put that on top, like, you know what I mean? Next up is Reconnaissance Mission. We're in enchantment territory now, boys and girls and planeswalkers of the multiverse. It's 2, a blue and a blue for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. And it has cycling for 2, so if you don't want it on the field, you can just go ahead and get rid of it. Again, it's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot you can do with that. Again, with a lot of cards it says like, hey, you can bypass damage altogether. Pretty good. Next up is an instant, Channeled Force, it's 2, a blue and a red. As an additional cost to cast the spell, discard X cards. Target player draws X cards. Channeled Force deals X damage to up to 1 target creature of Planeswalker. It's pretty good. Gives you an opportunity to draw more cards, chances are you have an effect that benefits you from drawing cards, or you're heavy in red and you have no draw power, in which case, hey, for that 1 blue mana, you have the opportunity to cycle your entire hand essentially, and then do damage. Not bad. Okay, next up, Boon of the Wish Giver. Again, if you remember, the Wish Giver is what's its name? Un momento, por favor. Ilhuma, Apex of Wishes. So yeah, that's what the art is of the card. Again, beautiful artwork. Oh my god, who made this? Chris, right? Is that Chris? Either Chris or Chess. Either way, oh my god. It is a sorcery for 4, a blue and a blue. Draw 4 cards. That's it. You can also cycle it for 1. So if you want to just pay the 1 and draw 1 card, you can do that too. Really good card. Really good card. Next up is, oh god, man, these nightmare cards. I'm surprised I was able to go to bed last night. Insatiable Hemiophage. It is a 3 and a black for a nightmare. It has mutate, 2 and a black. The creature itself has Death Touch, and whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life for X's number of times this creature is mutated. So again, it can get out of hand quickly. And you have to put it in check. Yeah, wow. Alright, next up, another nightmare. I would not want to visit Ikoria. If they ever come up with like another plane chase, and it's like, hey, Ikoria, no, I'm not playing. I'm not going to Ikoria. Again, like I said, Final Fantasy XII is like one of my favorite Final Fantasies. You mean I want to live there? Jeez. Chittering Harvester. I can only imagine what it even sounds like when you say chittering. What's that thing? Ugh, excuse me out. Chittering Harvester, it's 5 and a black, mutate cost of 4 and a black. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Each opponent just sacrifices a creature. Just get rid of them. And it's a 4/6. My god. Alright, next up, here's another one of these just 2 mana cards that are just... Skull Prophet. It's black and a green, so Golgari. And it has the ability, it's a human druid, tap, add black and green to your mana pool, or you can have it tap and put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. So great for dredge players. Just wowie woo woo. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be another card that's just phenomenal. All right, next up, I think that this was a spoiler card for one of the bigger YouTubers. It's Valiant Rescuer. I just love the artwork. Like, come on. It's 1 and a white for a human soldier. Whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. And it has cycling for 2. So again, that's going to be huge in Gavi, because you're just going to want to cycle. And if you can cycle and then create a 2/2 Drake and a 1/1, you just have incredible value right there. Like, oh my god. And if you have something to pump everything, and it's a 3/1. Apologies. Oof. Alrighty. Next up, we have another instant. Back for More. It's 4, a black and a green. For, like I said, an instant. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When you do, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. If you got something big, again, it's a Golgari. So if you tap that, what was it, Skull Prophet? Yeah, Skull Prophet, and you get something really big off the top of your library. That's a lot, paying 6 mana instead of like 7 or 8 is a lot better, you know, so why not, right? All right, next up is another instant, Dire Tactics. It's a white and a black for, like, again, an instant. Exile target creature. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to the creature's toughness. So that's just going to be broken in humans. Especially in standard. You essentially got one more. Just exile. It's nutty. Nutty. Alright, next up, we have a sorcery, Migration Path, 3 in a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Okay, green, and it has cycling for 2. Next up, Stormwild Catbird. It's 2 and a white for a bird goat. And it has flying. If non-combat damage would be dealt to Stormwild Catbird, prevent that damage, put a +1/+1 counter on Stormwild Catbird for each 1 damage prevented this way. What? Oh, that's definitely going in Fire Song Sunspeaker. Yeah, that's nuts, dude. You just outright have to destroy the creature. Oh no. This is one thing that we've seen a lot in the recent spoils. Sharks. Pouncing Shore Shark Redemption. It's 4 and a blue for a shark beast. It has mutate for 3 and a blue. It has flash. Whenever this creature mutates, you may return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So it like kind of gets scared. It goes, okay. Another enchantment, Footfall Crater. It's just 1 red, and then it has Enchantland. Enchantland has tap, target creature gains trample and haste until the end of the turn, cycling for 1. It's gonna be really good. Oh my god. Alright, next up we have Primal Empathy. It's an enchantment for 1 green and a blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card. If you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, otherwise put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. So again, upkeep. Really good for Paradox Haze, double upkeep trigger. You know, you could pump things really quick. Next up, we have Sprite Dragon. It's a fairy dragon for a blue and a red, and it has flying and haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Sprite Dragon. So again, is it colors? You know that thing's gonna grow extremely quick. You just play like Fairy Dragon, Brainstorm, Mystical Tutor. It's already a 3/3 because it starts as a 1/1, obviously. And then from there, you can just keep on going. The sky's the limit. Next up is Grimm Dancer. It is 1, a black and a black. For a nightmare, Grimm Dancer enters the battlefield with your choice of 2 different counters on it from among Menace, Death Touch, and Lifelink. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know what I'd choose. Yeah, again, really cool. Really cool. And it's a 3/3. Man, oh man. Alright, well, that's all I'm going to do for this video. Again, we have the Rares and Mythics from Ikoria that were spoiled, and also we still have the Commander 20 cards that were spoiled, all of which I will go over in separate videos. This one's already going on pretty long. Again, I want to thank you guys so much. I'm desperately trying to get content out as quick as possible. It has proved to be trying at times, but I do enjoy it. So hopefully you too enjoy it, and if you do, it would be huge to click that like button, maybe consider subscribing, follow our socials here, and then ring that temple bell because it means it. Until next time, which will probably be again, I'll probably upload multiple videos in one day. What is happening with this channel? But until then, peace.